This is Michael Bean from Aliens. Well, take this advice. Don't go out there! Stay frosty.
They've conquered the big screen. Now, get ready for the spin-off sure to send chills down your spine. It's Nico, Brian, Mike, and Dustin in Don't Go Out There, the series.
Welcome back, everybody, to DGOT, the series. We really appreciate y'all listening. We hope y'all have been enjoying these series reviews. I know we have. It's been a lot of fun. Just want to give a quick shout out to our website, don'tgoouthere.com. Everything about our podcast is on the website. All of our episodes and interviews, if you want to check those out. We've done some incredible interviews in the past. Go check them out there in a specific tab by themselves so you don't have to scroll through hundreds of episodes on Apple or Spotify, etc. We also have our store if you want to grab a shirt, a mouse pad, a hat, all that good stuff. We'd love to see your pictures, rep your favorite podcast. And Shan's Etsy page is also attached if you want to grab a tumbler. All of our social media links are on there as well. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Like us, subscribe us, follow us, all that good stuff. And the last thing I want to shout out on our website is our Patreon. We call it Blood Donors. We have the traditional monthly reoccurring kind. If you want to support us, help us pay the bills, as we say. Or if there's a movie you want us to review, that option is available as well. Just check out our website, don'tgoouthere.com. Also, if you haven't noticed, we've recently joined the Believe Network. So there's some ads on our program now. But if you want ad-free content, go check us out on Blood Donors. The ad-free episodes will be available there. We appreciate your support. We are starting a new series. Hope y'all enjoyed our Stephen King's It miniseries review. That was kind of long overdue, to be honest. But we are starting something new and something different. This is the first time we've ever taken on a show that is actively being shown like right now, like all the new episodes. So I think this was Dustin's idea. I think it's a really exciting idea. I'll just let Dustin announce what we're doing and why he chose it. Go ahead, Dustin.
Well, everyone knows how much I love the Alien franchise. Not at all. But I did like Alien Romulus. They announced this show. Alien Romulus got me kind of charged up, juiced up about the franchise. So I thought, I definitely want to check it out. And then I was like you said, Nico, we've never done this. We've never reviewed something as it's airing. So I thought that'd be cool for us to do. So, yeah, picked Alien Earth.
All right, I'll go for it. We're only doing one episode at a time just to, kind of lighten our burden, not have as much to do weekly. So appreciate that. We're only doing episode 1. I kind of told everybody in the group chat, I thought it was good, but there's just a lot going on. So you got to pay attention. You got to lock in. But I did enjoy this first episode. I have not watched the second episode yet, but I did enjoy the first episode. Brian, what did you think about the first episode of Alien Earth?
Man, this series is 5 years in the making, and I did want to say that I don't know if we could do it one at a time or two at a time or whatever and be on the same week just because of our recording schedule. So I think that we will be, one behind everybody if they're watching live, but I think it works out that way. Like I said, you can tell they spent all the money on this show. I'm 100% not kidding when I turned this on and I saw everyone waking up from those cryo sleep chambers, and I thought, did I accidentally start the first Alien? I think it's perfect. I mean, as was Alien Romulus with capturing just the whole universe. I mean, with Noah Hawley as the showrunner. By the way, he's doing the new Star Trek movie. I just felt like you needed to know that. It's been a while since I brought up Star Trek on the show. But he's the showrunner, and so we all know it's in good hands. And I had big expectations here, but they were exceeded, at least with this episode. And not to jump ahead, I mean, the second one I have seen at this point as well. I have not watched the third one, which is out at the time of us recording this. I think it came out today or yesterday. But this episode, like you said, man, moves quick. It's pretty easy to get invested into the characters for me, which is a nice change from the last few series that we've done. Not the It miniseries, but I mean like The Last of Us and stuff like that. That was really slow. This is just complete opposite of that. So this first episode, I think, does a little bit more setting up. While the next one is more just balls to the wall and just letting everything go. It goes very quick. So if you're a little bit overwhelmed with this one, watch out for episode 2. So I do understand why they wanted to air both of them at the same time. If I'm being honest, I think you will too whenever you watch it. But there's a lot of alien lore introduced here, some new things that are appreciated. But I really, so far, love this show.
Yeah, I don't think it's any secret that these kind of movies aren't really my cup of tea. Now, I do, sometimes when it comes to this kind of stuff, I think maybe it is better fit for a television series. So I was interested at least, and I did like Romulus. So like I was interested to see what they were going to do with it. And I will say there's a lot of this that fascinates me. I kind of touch on it in my ending, but I guess I'll just go ahead and do it here to save time, which is some of the themes I think this episode decides to touch on about, artificial intelligence, what it means to be human, emotions, things like that they kind of weave throughout their characters. I think is really good stuff. It's fascinating. I think the stuff with Lily is really, really good. And it's almost like I get mad when they show the alien again. And it's because I was so invested in some of this other stuff that I think they do a really good job, that when we get to anything that feels alien, for lack of a better term, it doesn't lose my interest. I'm just like, can we get back to like the stuff in the space station? Like, I think that's where my interest lies. But I was, entertained. I thought it was really good. It made me excited to watch the second episode. I'm interested to see where they take it from here. I was pleasantly surprised. Maybe this week I was in a good mood because I liked Presence at the time of this recording. I liked Presence more than I thought that I would, for sure. And I liked this episode a lot more than I thought that I would. I think there's some really good stuff here. And there's some stuff I kind of, like Nico said, you got to be locked in. There's some stuff that kind of was hard for me to lock into, but it got me back in the end, though. So, again, a lot happens in there's like a 10-minute span in here where they just decide to shove a bunch of shit in about a 10-minute block. So you really do have to pay attention during that. So I thought it was really well done. I'm excited to see where they take it.
Dustin, you got any opening thoughts before you jump into the scene by scene?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was good. I didn't love it, but I don't love 99% of the franchise. But I thought it was good. So I thought it was well made, consistent with the franchise.
Absolutely. All right, Brian, whenever you're ready, you got the scene by scene.
All right, I'm ready. Let's get it. Episode 1, Neverland. Right as the episode opens, we're shown the text on the screen that provides us with an important distinction within this world. In the future, the race for immortality will come in 3 guises: cybernetically enhanced human synths and synthetic beings downloaded with human consciousness, hybrids. And a final note before we start states that which technology prevails will determine what corporation rules the universe. We open up on the scientific research vessel, the Magino, in deep space as the title reveals itself in the typical hieroglyphic alien fashion with, splices of creepy alien imagery that are intercut, raising the tension with some very unnerving music on the soundtrack. The opening inside the Magino is unmistakably alien. The Magino may as well be the Nostromo for how perfect this is, in my opinion, like I mentioned, and that's perfect because it's also a Weyland-Yutani ship. Not only are their sets identical, but even some of the shots are exactly the same and framed to the T, reminding us of the OG. We get to meet the Magino's crew. I can't say that fucking word. We get to meet the Magino's crew. Some further exposition is run through with the crew explaining which corporations run what within the universe. They explain that Weyland-Yutani, their employer, controls North and South America, and we're told 4 companies govern the globe. Well, 5 now, including this new one, which began 10 years prior, Prodigy Corporation, which specializes in synths and AI, founded by the world's first trillionaire, Boy Cavalier. We will, of course, be meeting him later, and we're spared of the complete social studies lesson as they move through it pretty quickly. So all 5 corporations aren't name dropped. At this point in the story, the Magino is still about 4 months away, returning to Earth with their cargo of alien specimens. They are awake now, convening to take stock of some unexpected developments as the captain informs them that the ship's communications are down, the log files are corrupted, the ship is burning too much fuel. Some systems also may need to be shut down. One crew member brushes these things off as a glitch, but we already are kind of having suspicions here that there could be sabotage afoot. Clearly, we're meant to have suspicions drawn to one of these characters, Ting, the ship's navigator, as he has off-putting attitude about him. People don't really, seem to get along with him. Could he be in synthetic? Could he be filling that Ash-type role of the group? I don't know. But we do see him looking over one of the crew members still in hypersleep, so at this point, maybe Tang is just supposed to be a red herring. Does he really know something, or is he just an asshole and a pervert? I don't know. That could very well be. After the crew goes back into hypersleep, there are some quick flashes of what happens, almost subliminally conveying the fates of certain characters, including Tang. And then we move to the next section of the story. We're shown the Neverland research facility on Earth, owned by Prodigy Corporation, and is, of course, filled to the brim with Peter Pan references. Wendy, originally named Marcy, is a terminally ill girl who's become a candidate to be the first hybrid, the first human to have their consciousness transferred into the body of a synth. This is a secret project, and her family will be meant to believe she died. Boy Cavalier tells Marcy, soon to be known as Wendy, that she was chosen for this honor because she's special. What makes her special beyond the circumstances we already know has not been explained. Maybe something will be revealed later, maybe not. But one thing we do learn is that apparently this process can only work on children. The adult mind is too stiff, we're told. They can't make the trip. But kids' minds fit just right. And we close the set of scenes with Marcy holding the hybrid's hand.
Yeah, good review talk right off rip, but I like the font, the way the words are lit, the set pieces. They all look perfect for an Alien project. A lot of characters to learn in one episode, but bro with his dogs out all on the table was outrageous work. Put some socks on, OG. No matter what year we are in history, rats will always be disgusting to me. I love the moving scene from space back to Earth. I thought it was very well done. Very nice to see Timothy Olyphant again. Haven't seen him on the show in a long time. We've seen him on the movie review show in The Crazies and in Scream 2. Also great to see Essie Davis. We've seen her previously in the fantastic movie The Babadook. Don't let these other guys sway you. I know Dustin shouted hearing the lies about Neil Armstrong being the first to step on the moon. I know he was just ready to call that out. And the last thing I got is I love the camera work as it pans away from Wendy and Marcy and the tables the two are lying on. I thought it looked incredible. I thought it was just a really nice opening.
So right off the open here, I want to say, are we allowed to say this stinks if we don't like it? I don't want to be attacked in the Apple reviews, okay? So if I end up not liking this series, shoot me down, I guess. I don't know what to say. 2120. That's the there you go. 2120. I'm glad I'll be gone. I really don't want to be around for 2120. That sounds like a dystopian time. Are all these people supposed to be, technically I guess they are. Are they, I'm not quite understanding the human, not human thing that we do get to kind of touch on more later. All these people are sitting around this table are from the future taking her year. Sorry, I had to get that in somewhere. They better be careful because one of those guys around that table used to be a ghost face, and you know what the fuck that's like. He's willing to kill you guys at any second. He may dance on a table. You don't know what's coming on there. So you better be careful of that guy with the white hair. That's all I got to say.
He did not do that. He would never do that. He would never do it.
He was doing this little stupid thing. Remember this? I'm doing it. It's a audio medium, so you can't see it, but he was doing this little stupid thing. Come on. Scream 3 is better. Anyway, I joke around, but it would be cool to work on a mission like this, right? I mean, this would be a really, just cool thing to be a part of. This alien that looks like an eye also has eyes. Yeah, fuck that, man. I don't want anything to do with these things. And, you got to think this far in the future. It would be crazy to not know what a scorpion is. Like, is that some kind of lost creature to time? I don't know. That's the way I took it. Oliphant with his white hair is a crazy look for him. I thought he looked like Doc Brown. I thought it was great. Again, this far in the future, we are in the future, correct? Because my only thing with shows and movies like this, and it's a small thing, and it is nitpicky, but I just don't think we'd be using the same language 120 years, 100 years from now that we're using right now. Think about how much language has evolved. It's similar, but we use different words and different linguistics of things. And I don't know, very small thing I wish that some movies do take the effort, like Xenon Girl in the 21st Century. They have their own little lingo and hip things that they use. I think it would be fun. Anyway, First Man on the Moon. Did you hear that, Dustin? I know you heard that. First Man on the Moon. Her being patient zero for this experiment would be kind of wild if that were me. Last thing, I just really like the idea of this body transitioning swap thing being so easy. It's like getting a freaking MRI. You're on the table, you go to sleep, you have this electric thing run under you, and you're done. And now all of a sudden you're in a not human but kind of human body. That's all I had.
I like the editing of the title card sequence. There's some really cool visuals spliced in. This show also looks and feels very consistent with Romulus and the original films from the jump, which is a huge plus, what I was talking about earlier. I like how the score ramps up and we get the hectic editing to give us some tension after the dinner scene. And we see Timothy Olyphant, and I can't help but notice that he looks like Billy Idol in this show. I can't be the only one that thought that. This transferring Marcy's consciousness has some nefarious undertones to it when we hear that it's a secret, which adds some intrigue to the situation. I think it's a decent enough open. Nothing that I absolutely loved, but it piqued my interest.
All right, let's get into scene 2. Wendy awakes from her slumber to become a hybrid. Wendy is pretty instantly aware of her new upgrades, and one interesting factor I never really considered until seeing it brought up on the show here is that it could be a pretty difficult transition for a child to, suddenly wake up in an adult body. And it does take Wendy a little bit by surprise, which I'm glad they explored there. Suddenly she's taken a crash course in what can be described as artificial puberty. Kirsch, the android played by my boy Timothy Olyphant, advises her the human body manufactures hormones, dopamine, serotonin, estrogen, testosterone, that creates moods. You don't have these anymore. And Dame Sylvia, the scientist played by Essie Davis, adds, we've tried to simulate them, to simulate adolescence, as you grow into your adult body, so it's not just like flipping a switch. Some more sick kids enter the facility, and we see a montage as they're guided by Wendy on their way to becoming hybrids themselves and nicknamed the Lost Boys. We have Toodles, Slightly, Smee, and Curly, and Nibs all joining this hybrid gang and learning how to harness their new lease on life and new abilities. I'll give all these actors credit. They truly do feel as if their children suddenly transformed into adult bodies. I think they did a great job. Most of all, Sydney Chandler. I think the series itself came with a lot of hype, but fairly enough, so did this role with the potential to be an instant star maker. I love the character. I love the performance. She's great. Brings so much to Wendy that's just endearing with the hopefulness of a child who's obviously gained so much, but instantly lost. Just a tremendous deal as well. But we find that out. And we cut back to the Magino as it's set to crash, and we see Morrow hide in the hidden door, which kind of seems to fill in a long-lasting plot hole, by the way, sidebar, from the first movie where Ash just kind of appears behind Ripley at one point and leaves you curious on how the hell he even got in that room. Well, there's a little hidden compartment, it seems. Check out our review on Alien, don'tgooutthere.com, and don't leave us an Apple Podcast review just because your butt hurts. Some of the crew don't love it. Grow up. Go ahead.
Yeah, prick. My fear of heights wouldn't let me sit on the edge of that cliff like Wendy was. I don't care if I do have superpowers that allow me to jump like she did, but I don't like heights. Interesting conversations, asking Wendy if she's had emotions. Don't have them. Not worth it, Wendy. Avoid them at all costs. Wendy, played by Sydney Chandler. Good review talk here for me, but she looks like a combo of Mia Goth and Ella Purnell, and I think she's doing a great job so far. I think she does give a great acting performance. We're deep into the year 2100s, and they're still watching classic cartoons. Not good for my narrative that newer media is better than the older stuff. Like, I need some help from them. Amazing score of Dread as we see the ship in space. I love it. Great job by composer Jeff Russo. And Morrow said, fuck you, lady, sealing her fate outside the door. More great music by Jeff Russo as she's killed by that xenomorph. And speaking of the xenomorph, it looks incredible, led by Brett Butt from Weta Workshop, who we've seen previously in films like X. I think the xenomorph looked great. I think everything just feels like Alien right now. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, kind of like I mentioned in my last set here, I really just love how seamless the transition from body to body is. It's, it's so easy. It's like getting a knee scope, man. It's almost easier than getting a knee scope. That's how far the technology is coming. And, even down to, inheriting memories, right? I mean, again, just another crazy thought is of this being real, in my opinion. And then, her even questioning if she is real. I wonder, I like this commentary I already touched on, which was, how is she not human? This thing, well, you're not human anymore. Well, how is that? I mean, how is that the case? I mean, I feel like this is what the future of being a human could potentially look like. And so I think we're just kind of playing this out on screen. And, I touch on that a little bit more later. This is a cool idea in theory, but it does give me that uncanny valley that I reference, 10 times in the last 2 years because we've done so many sci-fi. Thanks, Brian. This uncanny valley feeling that I get from something that's almost human, but not quite. Wendy is a good character so far, and you can just tell that there's this childlike spirit about her, but she's still a grown-up somehow too. Like, again, I like the character of Wendy a lot, and this is the kind of sci-fi I'm into. Not so much the alien flying around on spaceship, but the other kind. And damn it, there's an alien. Son of a bitch, ruined my good sci-fi with an alien appearance. No, I mean, it's fine. People not letting other people into doors seems to be a theme throughout this franchise. Is that something that I'm missing? Like, someone tries to bang down a door and the other person on the other end's like, la, 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 la. As a matter of fact, this guy does a heel turn and goes and welds the son of a bitch shut, keeps her out. Or keeps her in, keeps her out. I don't know what's going on here. But, all in all, I thought this was a pretty good set of scenes as far as picking up the intensity. Side note, is he's like crashing through this giant circular orb thing. Is he humming the Willy Wonka song? I know he's not, but it sounds like, come with me and we'll be in a world of pure. Anyway, that's a horror movie in and of itself. One day I'm going to make us review it for my birthday. 1 year. It will happen.
Yeah, her jumping off the cliffs and landing on her feet made my knees and ankles hurt for 20 minutes after I saw that. Yikes. Interesting concept that she doesn't have emotions anymore because she doesn't have hormones, etc. Like, I didn't really consider that when thinking of that whole process. That's a good point. I like that. It kind of slows down for me here. I know the show was called Alien Earth, but an alien story that spends a lot of time away from the space or the Xenomorph's threat, it feels odd to me a little. Thankfully, we get back on the ship and get some cool editing to spike back up that suspense. And we get our first Xenomorph attack. Really awesome stuff. I'm not sure why the Xenomorph had a Paul Wall grill, though. This set of scenes started off slow, but ended in a flurry.
I don't know who Paul Wall is, man. That's how old I am right now.
He's the people's champ. You're joking. You don't know who Paul Wall is?
No.
Have you ever heard Still Tipping on Fofo with Mike Jones?
You've never heard Still Tipping?
Bro really is 84 years old.
Unless I heard it and just don't recognize the name. I am pretty bad at that.
Hold on, Brian. Have you not heard the song Grills?
By Nelly?
Oh, yeah.
Paul Wall's his mom. That's Nelly and Paul Wall.
What you looking at? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Bro really is 84 years old.
He's
this
the white
crazy.
guy in that song.
I like Nelly. I like that song. I just didn't know he was in it. I'm bad at music, man. I'm telling you. And that's my Achilles heel. I cannot tell you 5% of the people who sing songs. I recognize the songs, but I couldn't tell you who's in them or who sings them most of the time. I'm bad at that. Anyway, sorry. We are way off kilter here. And I am old, I know, man. I feel it every day. We open up the set of scenes with the Mahino. God damn this word. With the Magino crashing into what may be a communications array close to Earth. Not real sure what that is. As we cut back and start to follow Wendy's brother Hermit, some in Prodigy City, with a little voiceover telling us that he's a medic with a soldier platoon who works for Prodigy. And we see that they know Wendy is also watching him. Wendy misses her brother terribly, obviously, and observes him every chance she's given. She comforts herself with memories of the two growing up, spending time with her father, and a little cameo by Noah Hawley himself. They watch movies together, a favorite being Ice Age, great movie, and we see that Hermit still carries on the tradition. We follow old Hermit to a rooftop with his platoon, where they ask about a trip he took in similar fashion to Alien Romulus, where he tries to get his duty cut short so that he could go to medical school, but is in fact declined. The group see the Magino crashing into Prodigy City, and the group suit up to head to the crash site. When they get there, it is a shit show, and Hermit, everyone immediately go to work. The chaos is flooding our screens as the group's tasked with clearing the building, and when they find the ship, they all split up. Hoyt and Anan go one way, and you already know that shit isn't going to end well, as we cut to Morrow emerging from a secret room and Mother coming back online. Morrow goes straight into the stasis pods and sees a monitor with the search and rescue team perusing the halls. He tells Morrow to alert Wayland HQ that the ship has been boarded, status of the cargo is unknown, and that he is moving to the armory to attempt to secure the site till reinforcements can arrive. And the next set of scenes is the ending.
I said it in Alien Romulus and in the Alien review, I believe, but the outer space stuff just looks incredible. And my simple mind can't even fathom how these type of scenes are created for film. I don't know, it might just be all digital on a computer. I don't know. At this point with Wendy watching monitors, I do think there's quite a bit going on. I will have to rewatch this episode without doing notes to try and grasp all the info being thrown at me. And I will do that before I do my episode 2 notes. No chance in hell the people on that rooftop weren't hit by all that debris caused by the ship. Like, realistically, all of them should have got hit by it in some capacity, if not killed. I really thought that just didn't make any sense. Action and intensity pickup, and it's go time. Let's see what's caused the ship to wreck. What a scene. The wreckage, the civilians in their state of panic and fear. Wonderfully made and acted, and I thought it just looked like a horrifying scene to be a part of. Soldiers met the most chill Rottweiler in history. I'd have shit myself if I opened those curtains and saw it waiting on me, but that's just the old mailman in me. I should have called in sick. I think that every time I have a shitty day at work as well, so I feel you on that. And the last thing I got is Morrow, played by, I'm probably going to butcher this man's name, Babu Sise. I think he's doing a great job as well. I foresee some sinister choices by him as our synthetic going forward. That's the last thing I got.
Got your ass, Mr. Postman.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot here on this set of scenes. I will say I was getting frustrated by my Hulu and these fucking ads. The audacity of this company to have as many fucking ads in their show as they do is ridiculous. It's almost every 8 minutes there's a fucking ad for The Conjuring Last Rites in my show I'm trying to watch. Now, that's just because I'm broke and I have the cheapest version of Hulu, but I feel like all Hulu tiers have ads, I think. I don't fucking know, bro.
And
No.
This show airs on FX, so they have ads on regular TV, like cable.
Yeah, and I'm used to not having that shit for my television show. So when there was an ad,
Because he's
yeah,
rich.
I watched it on the up and up, Dustin. Anyway, just a little mini rant. So some of this scenes here kind of confused me, and it's maybe because I'm not super familiar with the franchise as a whole, outside of the ones we've done for the show. And I will say, to me, the episode is better when it's stuff at the space station. Like Nico mentioned, a lot of the stuff that's in space looks really, really good. But this stuff where they're kind of, once the ship crashes and they're, walking around it and it's this military style invasion stuff, it kind of loses me a little bit. I find it, okay, we've kind of seen this before from other movies. So, and again, I would have popped out my line, what's causing all this? And it's just the ship crashing, right? I mean, again, it's our guy turning heel, crashing the ship, but it is a way to connect the two stories that they're trying to tell, which mostly happens with television shows. I mean, try to interweave the plots together. Now, I will say I prefer standalone story episodes myself, but that's just me. Don't mind me. Last thing I have really is, like I mentioned at the top, this is that 10-minute block. I feel like they tried to shove a ton of shit in it. And so I was like, what? This is going on, that's going on, this is going on. And so very entertaining, just didn't have a whole lot as far as notes to put down about it.
Yeah. And we go back to the kids who've been transferred. I know it's going to lead to something good, so I'm along for the ride, but I'd be lying if I didn't want to spend more time with the space crew here. And just like that, I get both of the things I wanted, something good happening and the space crew, because that ship crashed into the cities. Look out, they got the second tower. Let's go. It looked great, and it was well set up. Good stuff there. The set design, the sound design, the camera work, the effects, all the carnage and chaos of the crash site. I thought it was all great. And, yeah, I'm ready to see where the ending takes us.
Well, I'm glad you are, my friend, because we are here at the ending. Back at Neverland, Wendy is taking a sound test when she sees one of the Prodigy monitors and notices her brother and all the chaos that's going on at Prodigy City. Cavalier is also monitoring the situation, and he wants what is on that crash ship. knowing that it is going to piss off Utani. Wendy convinces him that her and the Lost Boys can secure the ship with their super soldier Captain America powers. Cavalier agrees, and Kirsch is sent with him as well. Back on the ship, Morrow comes across Hoyt and Anon and secretly drops a slug-like creature on Hoyt. I don't have the official alien name for that. I fucked up. Players fuck up sometimes. I did. Sorry. But it's a slug-like creature right now before relieving them of their weapons and zip-tying them to a pole in the lab. We cut back to the other three, who find the cryopods, and we see what we recognize as the work of a hugger bursting out of the chest. Back in the lab, the slug-like creature bites Hoyt and immediately drains him of enough blood for him to live, as we see it continue to feed like a tick. When finished, it also relieves Anon of his blood, and we cut back to the aircraft carrying the Lost Boys. Kirsch and Wendy have a conversation where Kirsch pulls no punches about his belief that humanity is inferior, once again encouraging her to embrace her synthetic nature by abandoning her human aspects in a great little monologue delivered by Oliphant. And we end this episode with Black Sabbath. Again, Disney spares no expense here, apparently.
Yeah, I don't have much here, just to be honest, dude. I don't know why, but I chuckled at Wendy giving the scene-by-scene analysis on how a sperm operates. As good as it is to see Timothy Oliphant, I'm not a huge fan of his look. Are they just trying to make him look just like Lance Hendrickson? I'm not your brother. No matter who says it, it is always a cold line said in film. And damn, our whole crew from the beginning is dead. Damn, aliens ruin everything. Maybe they'll come to Earth for real and put us out of our misery. Do it before I pay my rent, though. Hoyt is in a terrible spot. I'd be terrified. Tied to a beam and this huge-ass bug crawling on my face. And now he's bitten. What a goddamn nightmare that is. I'd be freaking out. Good episode. I'm more optimistic now, but I'll definitely have to rewatch, just in case I miss anything, because like we mentioned, so much happened.
And again, we're back to the station, which I already mentioned, much more interesting. So I'm back to being invested, and I really just love the heart of this episode when it comes to the character of Wendy. To me, they said she's not feeling any emotions. It's pretty clear to me, unless I missed something, she's feeling emotions right here, where she wants to kind of go in, save her brother, save the day, and I think it's clear she's feeling human. Does that not make her human by everything and standard that we have? Again, I really like that it starts to touch on that. And, I like the way that the searching of the ship is shot here. It feels like we're on it with him. Morrow is a true heel brother. He's doing some shady tactics, and good for him. For some reason, these little versions of the aliens that we get, or the xenomorphs or whatever, they freak me out more than the big ones. It's like having fucking big alien bugs. That would creep me out, man. I'm all the way out on that. Last thing I really have here is Oliphant's speech towards the end to Wendy is great, and again, just kind of touches on those themes that I mentioned with humans and technology, and I really, really liked his delivery there. I thought it was great, and made me excited to watch the next episode for sure. I may have to rewatch it too because I may have missed something, but I thought it was good.
Yeah, I like Wendy seeing the crash on the screens during her hearing test. Everything's coming together with our two moving parts. Love that. It lets me know that we're not going to spend a few episodes before they come together. I like Wendy volunteering to get to help with the rescue, just bringing those two stories even closer. Good stuff. Good tension when Morrow subdues the two guys on the ship. Seeing the little alien crawling on the guy's face and then biting his neck, that was awesome. Very well done. And then, holy cannoli, it filled up fast. Like that thing quadrupled in size in just a couple of seconds. Wendy saying that she's going to save her brother is a great dramatic cliffhanger for the first episode to end on. And I like this first episode. It's very solid, feels authentic, has original storylines. I gave it an 8.
Give it an 8.
What else did you give an 8 recently, Dustin?
That would be, it was at the urging of Brian. He was texting me saying, please give it a high score. I gave it an 8 to Strange Thing About the Johnsons.
That's right. I thought that sounded familiar. Familiar score right there.
Oh, buddy, I was way off on this. I thought you used your Johnson to give 8 to somebody else. I was really happy for you for a minute there, buddy.
What'd I do? Give it to her 4 times? 8.
I can't follow that up.
We appreciate y'all tuning in. We'll be back for episode 2 next week.
We're so sorry.
Jason X.
Thank you so much, everybody. I'll see you next week. And in the meantime, take care of yourself.
Just want to remind everybody